Hello. Welcome to my channel Life with Priya, where I share interesting, fascinating, somewhat thought-provoking things from the multiple realms of lifestyle, innovation, fashion, and entertainment. And these are things that I see, read, or hear from somebody, experience or absorb from my day-to-day simple life. In 2020, Prince Harry and wife Meghan, along with their little son Archie, left UK and moved to America. They stayed in Canada for a few months and then moved into a multi-million-dollar mansion at the elite Montecito area in California. A new life beckoned. In sunny California, Harry and Meghan were, it seems, all set for a new innings that would bring them the public's love, appreciation, and the independence they seemingly wanted. The royal family, to their credit, gave the couple their support, emotional and even financial, with the agreement that if after a year they wished to come back, well, they would be welcomed back and that they deserved to try out the life that they seemed to crave. The mistakes of the past had not been forgotten, and the loss of many precious things, including Lady Diana's fallout with the royals, including public outrage, was not something to be repeated. The monarchy, while not involved in governance, is still regarded as a very vital British identity and is looked upon as an important institution which can bind the population together. And therefore, especially after the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, who was a hugely popular figure, the British royal family headed by King Charles has a considerable role to play in these fractured and somewhat unpredictable, turbulent times. All the more reason for the unit that the British royal family is to stay intact and cohesive. Prince Harry and Meghan, by declining to be part of this, still retain their titles, their inheritance, but none of the other privileges that come with being a working royal. As Queen Elizabeth II, a shrewd monarch who reigned for 70 years, witnessing many a crisis bravely and stoically, once said in her candid manner, "The monarchy does not work for you, you work for the monarchy." Proof that even true blue royals hailing from the House of Windsor need to work and to perform their duties just the way people like you and me have to. There is no scope for a British royal to laze around enjoying the fruits of decades of palaces and being surrounded by courtiers. And they have to do this mind under intense public scrutiny. A foot put wrong, a single insensitive comment, a moment of inappropriate dress can invite backlash and brutal criticism. Their role, therefore, is probably far more difficult, challenging, and tiring than any celebrity. The current royals comprise King Charles and his wife Queen Camilla, William, Prince of Wales, first in succession, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince George of Wales, Prince Charlotte of Wales, Prince Louis of Wales, Harry, Duke of Sussex, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, Prince Archie, and Princess Lillibet. The United Kingdom is a constitutional monarchy in which the monarch shares power with a constitutionally organized government. The reigning king or queen is the country's head of state. All political power rests with the Prime Minister, the head of government, and the cabinet, and the monarch must act on their advice. Yes, there are many who call the monarchy defunct, irrelevant, and a white elephant, as also a drain on the British economy. They say that this institution is a relic from the past that British and Britons are holding on to. Their rites and rituals, the crowns and sashes, the ermine coats and orb and scepter, the titles like king and queen and duke and duchess and earl and baron and lady and knight and dame, invite commentary from those who say we need to abolish the monarchy the way it has been done in so many other countries, including the world's largest democracy, India, and even Britain's neighbour France. And there is a greater number who say that the monarchy and the palaces, jewels, monuments, history, culture, etc. that it brings along is an important tourist attraction and a stolid, much required and valued support for the billions of pounds of charity that is doing tremendous good work and have the royals as their patrons. And therefore, the British royal family, far from being mere figureheads or puppets, are today highly regarded, respected, and much loved individuals who are visibly serving a purposeful role not only curtailed to British geography and history, but on a global level as role models epitomizing sophistication, old world manners and etiquettes, preservation of tradition and heritage, and yes, the charm that comes with any form of real royalty. Which is why, when this protocol or structure is disrupted or disturbed, it is great cause of concern not only in the British royal corridors and their inner circles, but the general British public as well.
Departure from UK.
Prince Harry was leaving behind everything that was dear to him. For a prince of the British royal throne to leave in this manner was unfortunate. The British were distressed, but the feeling was that nobody, especially the royals, wanted old mistakes to be repeated. This is the timeline of how Harry and Meghan alienated themselves from everything that was part of his and her family, and of their dilemma of whether they wanted to be Americans or royalty, ending up neither here nor there. Let me explain. So obviously this was a new chapter. Everybody thought, wow, this couple wants to make it on their own and they are staying on their own, away from the royal family and the trappings of all that. What are they going to do now? Well, apparently the real interesting stuff starts now. It was assumed that with their interesting life, Harry and Meghan would always try to make a series or write a book or something like that. But nobody knew that things would become so explosive.
The Oprah interview.
In February 2021, something happened that would change things forever. Oprah Winfrey, the celebrity, the talk show guru, secured an exclusive interview in their California home with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Meghan Markle was expecting the birth of the second child, and the kind of reaction that this interview had cannot even be described, because in this interview Meghan Markle and Prince Harry did something that I believe I can safely say not many of us would. You can see this interview actually, and imagine that you are moving out of your house and everything seems to be going fine, and then you give an interview to somebody and you're full of things that are unpleasant towards family. You are slandering them in public, you're calling them names, you are blaming them for the life that you have, you're blaming them for mistakes that you probably have done, you're blaming them for turning into somebody that you didn't want to do. And some parts of this, if I would share with you, is Meghan accused Kate, that's Princess Catherine, of making her cry. Meghan said she was on the verge of suicide but was refused help by the British royal family. Meghan spoke to one of Diana's friends instead of the other members in the royal family. Prince Harry feels let down by his father. He feels cut off. He feels everybody is against him. And finally, that they have nothing to look back in any way of fondness towards what they left behind. So, you know what I think? I think that that was really something that not many of us would do. I mean, yes, issues come up, you have things against those in your family, but you never really divulge it or reveal it to a public channel. How many of us would even think of doing this? That's not all, there's stuff coming up.
A baby girl is born. She is named Lillibet.
The birth of a second child on 4th June 2021 made the couple very happy. People who love Harry and Meghan were extremely delighted that there was a daughter now to join the son. Of course, there were rumors that said that this was a surrogate child, and Meghan in any case was in what they call a geriatric pregnancy, and whatever body language she showed was not suitable to her being carrying that child actually, and so on and so forth. But none of us still know, and it's all out there.
Discussion over the name Lillibet.
What happened during this is something which is again open to conversation. The name that Meghan and Harry gave to their second born, the little baby daughter, was Lillibet. Now, for those who do not know this, Lillibet is supposed to be the nickname or the pet name of Queen Elizabeth II. And it is one part of, as they say, her extremely cherished and private memories that this is the name that was her pet name. So the story goes that Harry did not really take her permission before naming their child Lillibet, and that they simply just told her about it, that we have named our child as Lillibet. And as the story goes again, Queen Elizabeth II, who was already in her declining years, was absolutely not happy that something that was so private to her, so dear to her, could be appropriated, even though it was her grandson calling his daughter the name. But she felt, as sources were told, that she felt she should have been asked about it rather than being informed about it. What happens next in the Harry-Meghan story is even more sordid, I would say. I hate to use this word, but it's true.
Spare, the tell-all memoir.
Prince Harry makes a deal with a publication company to write a memoir. Sounds pretty interesting, isn't it? The second born, the younger son of one of the most liked and talked about royal couples in the world, is writing a memoir. But what did the memoir contain? It contained what no father would like to hear his son calling him. In the book, Harry blamed his father, Harry blamed his brother, Harry blamed the British royal family. Harry said whatever could go wrong, much of it was because of his family and his father and his brother and the way he was treated. And in fact, the name itself has much that can be discussed, because by spare he actually means a telling comment on the connotation that the word spare is, which means that somebody who cannot be the heir is the spare. The book Spare was released in January 2023. Of course, it was ghostwritten, and the kind of reaction it had across the world was phenomenal. Yes, the book was a bestseller, but for all the wrong reasons. I mean, just imagine yourself if you were somebody who did get along well with your family and you left home and you went to live somewhere else with your own family and tried to make it good. Would you really say all these things and write a book to say all that? This is open to conversation, but in my opinion, what he did was really a reflection on what can happen when things are not going in the way that they must, not only for the reputation of a family, but for everybody to be in a kind of letting go. One has to let go and not cling on to things and definitely not slander your own family in such a large public manner. So anyway, the book Spare became a bestseller and it's still selling well, it seems.
Interview with BBC.
Now, next comes an interview with BBC very recently as May, in which Prince Harry sits down for a 30-minute interview, and once again he says things which are not flattering at all for the British royal family. Now, I have to tell you something which has happened in the meanwhile.
Meghan Markle unable to make a mark.
So Meghan Markle, in her attempts to become famous and be looked at as a female icon or as a business person or as an entrepreneur or somebody who made it on her own, tried numerous businesses to make it really big in America. She was a somewhat fairly popular actor in Suits, and now she wanted to take the next step ahead. Therefore, Meghan Markle started a company called As Ever, which sold something which she called Spread. It was something between a jam and a spread and marmalade, and there was a lot of hype about it. And unfortunately, there were reports that the production did not go well, the numbers were not good, not many people really liked the taste of this product, and therefore she decided to close things as of now. There were other enterprises that Meghan thought would make her a really popular star again. One of them was a podcast called Confessions of a Female Founder, in which the idea was really nice that Meghan Markle, in her role as Duchess of Sussex, would interview female entrepreneurs, women who have really made it, who have started a business from scratch, who have lessons to give other women or other business people, who can talk about their struggles, what they did right, what they did wrong. And on the face of it, it was a brilliant idea. But unfortunately, the reports that came in and the episodes that were aired all seem to make it pretty evident that in each episode, Meghan Markle was full of herself, and it was only Meghan Markle, the brand, that she wanted to give a platform by talking to all these wonderful women. So it seems it was never about listening to them, let them talk, let them take the spotlight. No, it was all about, okay, you did this, so how did I do it? Okay, you went through this, you had this medical problem, so what happened to me when I went through the same thing? How did I deal with it? So a lot of people who were hoping for something really powerful, something impactful, something very responsible, were frankly disappointed, because the very purpose which seemed to be really noble and effective was lost. Then Meghan started something which she calls, the format was interesting, the kind of way in which it was shot was extremely interesting, because the episodes were not shot in her own house. I wonder why that didn't happen. So it seems a complete new mock-up was done, a kitchen was created, and Meghan invited guests, and one of those guests was Mindy Kaling, who happens to be of Indian origin, and in one of the episodes, which is by now really famous and notorious for its underlying sentiment, is where Mindy Kaling tells Meghan something, and Meghan responds by saying, I don't know why you keep calling me Markle, I'm Sussex now. So it was deemed by millions of people who were watching this episode as a snub to Mindy Kaling, who, by the way, is a very successful and a very hardworking person who has got her fame entirely on her own merit. And therefore people felt that Meghan putting her down or putting her in her place by saying, I'm no longer Markle, that's long back, that's my past life, I'm Sussex now, sadly seemed rather rude. It was impolite, It was mean and it was just not nice.
Meghan Harry bizarre twerking video.
Another extremely interesting and fun thing. A few weeks back, on her daughter's birthday, I think it was the 4th or 5th birthday, Meghan Markle released a completely bizarre and weird video which she had taken 5 years back before the birth of Lillibet, where she is shown videotaping herself. Of course, there's somebody in the room who is doing the shooting, but Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, and Prince Harry, 7th in line to the British throne, are seen twerking in a hospital room to a song which has elicited criticism, laughs, trolling, memes. Many people are disgusted because of what they see. And strangely enough, this video is not something that somebody has shot surreptitiously or secretly or behind the scenes. It is a video taken by one of Meghan's associates or friends, and Meghan Markle herself has chosen to air this on her daughter's birthday. I mean, I cannot say this, but it's up to you to think whether is this a great way really to show your love for your daughter, where you're twerking and dancing in an extremely inappropriate, even scary and dangerous way just before your daughter is born in a hospital room. I mean, as Indians, this is our sentiment. We like, generally I'm speaking, I cannot be specific. Generally, most Indians like to be very careful before birth because you never know what's going to happen, and one is very understated, one is very quiet, one is very humble, one waits, one does not want to really publicize to the world that you're expecting or something. And to me as an Indian, this was completely something that absolutely shocked me when I saw this on Meghan Markle's Instagram page. There are other things which are extremely interesting from the point of view of, again I'm coming to this, that you have a large family, a son who has moved out, and you say to this son, fine, we'll look after you for a year, but after that, if you are not willing to do the family business, you want your freedom, well, have your freedom entirely. We really cannot fund you or finance you for your whole life. And we are talking here about a couple where Prince Harry is 40 and Meghan is a couple of years elder to him. So we are talking essentially about an adult couple, but a couple who is constantly in the news for wanting to grab attention, for wanting to take something away from the family which groomed them. And I'm coming here to another point, burning the bridges. There are rumors that recently there was a meeting between the aides or the team which represents King Charles, because he's the king now, and Prince Harry. And this meeting apparently took place at some snooty club, and there were paparazzi who shot that, and then there was somebody who said, no, it's Meghan Markle's house which leaked the photos. And apparently this meeting was held to explore the possibility of Prince Harry reconciling with his father, King Charles. Prince Charles is undergoing treatment for a particularly serious kind of cancer, and everybody is worried about him. So alarmingly, it seems that both want to reconcile because neither of them want to have this feeling of not having met each other or talked to each other or made a phone call or even having maintained relations, cordial relations with each other. I come really to the moot point of today's episode, that in a family which has a tradition of centuries, identity or a functioning institution, somewhat like India has our own honorable president, who is a very, very important part of our cultural soft power, or having diplomatic relations, meeting foreign dignitaries, and maintaining this aura of being a strong and progressive democracy. Similarly, the British royal family is a very, very important ingredient to maintain the aura. So, frankly, I would say that whatever has been demonstrated by Harry and Meghan really smacks of not only insensitivity, but there is a certain level of, I would say, ingratitude and a large amount of meanness also, because let's accept that when they moved to California, their family told them, yes, go, whatever help you want, we'll always be with you. But to move to America and to have a life of your own as adults, and then to engage in all this slander and all this name game and all this blame game is, in my opinion, really not done. But because things like these are truly conversation starters on so many things that, as I mentioned earlier in my talk, are central to us as a human being.
Latest from Harry-Meghan camp. Harry's unsuccessful run since coming to USA.
King Charles and Prince William are apparently not keen on initiating any kind of reconciliation efforts between Harry and the British royal family after Harry's consistent public actions of maligning his father, brother, and sister-in-law, and his stepmother through a documentary, a book, and multiple interviews. Harry had to step back from Centabele, a large charity for African children that had set up in memory of his mother, late Lady Diana. This was, allegedly, a step he had to take after allegations of bullying and harassment from Centabele's trustee and chair, Dr. Sophie Chanduka. Harry has no visible employment, is not allegedly being invited for lectures and speeches because he has nothing of value to give. Harry recently lost his case regarding security issues, having to pay large legal fees in UK courts as a result. Meghan's social media post featuring her kids has been in contradiction to the foundation set up by Harry and Meghan to help children facing harmful effects of social media, and this has upset many people. The huge cost of running his mansion at Montecito has allegedly resulted in having to reduce staff and seriously thinking up ideas to get the millions required to fund maintenance and upkeep of their sprawling, luxurious home.
Meghan's disappointing failure at making it after exiting from UK.
Meghan's as-ever jam/spread has been closed down after spending millions in its marketing, branding, and production. Meghan's With Love Meghan cooking show elicited more criticism because of allegedly A. plagiarism, B. uninteresting and unoriginal recipes and content, C. Meghan visibly throwing attitude at her guests. Meghan's podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder, is ranking low in the ratings because her guests allegedly are not given enough value, and Meghan hogs all the limelight, making it more about her than them. Meghan is allegedly rampantly using her HRH, her Royal Highness, though she has not been given permission to do so by the royal family. Meghan's alleged alienation from her father and half-brother and half-sister is seen by Americans as selfishness. In meritocracy-driven America, Meghan's attempts at portraying herself as Duchess of Sussex is viewed by people as hypocrisy because they feel if she wanted to get out of the suffocating British royal environment, then why is she clinging on to the trappings of royalty like a title, plush lifestyle, and moving around in a cavalcade of cars?
Conclusions, based on the latest from the Harry-Meghan story. Are they royals with an entourage? Crowns, palaces, servants, and titles, and well-loved in the parent country? No.
Are they hardworking and rich Americans who command huge value through their visible achievements and merit? No.
And hence, in the 8 years since Prince Harry and Meghan Markle moved from the UK to US, they have been in the news plenty. But sure seems that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are truly neither here nor there. Some of you will really be intrigued by whatever I told you. Friends, let me know what you found good in this episode, what you did not like, and I'll be very happy to either take it from there, and in any case, I'll be very happy if you watch the whole episode and post everything, whatever you liked and did not like, in the comments below. You have a grouse with somebody, you have an axe to grind, but to put it in very blunt terms, I think it's really doesn't make sense to keep holding on to the bad things, because there are so many good things out there for you. On this note, I would really thank you for watching. Thank you so much. Keep watching. If you like this, please subscribe. I appreciate the time you spend. Thank you so much.